We've got a cool challenge in this design where one item has the image on the right side and then the next image has the flipped side, has the image on the left side. Now, in general, if these were regular, items, you could very easily add a combo class to this other section and change the design. But our challenge is that we can only basically style one item, right? Because we have only one collection list item. So how do we get to style this second one differently? And here's basically the trick on how to do this. When we are selecting these items, in this case, what we're selecting is the home projects item grid, and we're going here into the states menu. You will see that all of a sudden we've got a few new states that are just showing up when you're selecting a CMS or a collection list item. And that basically means that we can do different styling to the first item, the last item, odd item, or even items. And this is how we're going to solve this, because we're going to just change how even items look like. If we select this, now we get access, and all of the changes that we're going to do in this design right now, in this class right now, are only going to affect even number. So the first one is odd and the second one is even. We can also do the last because we only have two elements here. It doesn't really matter. But now we can make changes in this design that are only going to affect the second one. So this is great. This is how we're going to solve this. But now we're getting into a problem where we can see that the grid is a little bit more limited than Flex, because the grid doesn't allow us to all of a sudden switch the order of the items. And I can't really drag them, because if I make changes to the actual structure, not the class, then they're going to be affected here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change how we're structuring this. I'm going to achieve the same design, but using Flex, because as you'll see in a second, Flex is more powerful, as I've mentioned in the beginning, and you can do everything with Flex. Sometimes grid is easier, but now I'm going to demonstrate how Flex is more powerful. So I'm selecting, again, just the normal. I want to change this structure from grid to Flex. So when I'm selecting the home projects item, I'm going to change from grid to Flex. And now we're going to get something very, very weird, right? It's going to try to fit in both of this in the same line. The image is very big. So what I want to do is I actually want to select the image, and I want to give it a class to make sure that the image takes up about or maximum 60% of the screen, right? So I'm going to remove this class because I don't want to make changes to round corners, and I'm going to give this an actual class of its own. So let's call this home image, and actually home project. Let me rename this for clarity. Home projects image. Home image is pretty generic. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that this image has a maximum width of no more than 60%, because the images, as you can see, it's quite big. And now that I did it, you can see that we have almost the same layout. We can play around with this if you think that it needs to be 62% or 61%. Let's say 62%. So I think now basically the image is maximum 62%. Basically, we get the same visual effect. The only thing we want to do is reapply round corners here. And we've got the same effect, only it's with Flex. However, now we're going to see the powerful thing about Flex. Now that we're going to select even items, in Flex, it's very easy to define that instead of going from left to right, if I'm going to click down on this, instead of going left to right, I can also go right to left. And if I'm going to change that, now you can see that it's arranging the items, because this is the first one, from the right and the image to the left. And that's basically it. We achieved this. The first one has a flex that's going from left to right, and the even items have a flex that goes from right to left. So we've covered two things here. Number one, how we can style even, odd, first or last items for the CMS, and also how you can change direction to a flex element and how powerful the flex is.